Hello, learners. It has been wonderful learning with you the topic international trade in business studies. I'm Mr. Erastus Juma, and I welcome you to this last bit of our lessons, trends in international trade. Yesterday, we introduced trends, and I said that trends refer to emerging issues, certain ideas that are coming up in the world of international trade. And we said that some of the emerging trends in international trade include liberalization, which includes the opening of the boundaries of countries within maybe regions so that they can trade together. Simply refers to the removal of trade restrictions so that the interaction among countries as they trade can increase. We also looked at the development of e-banking, and we said that e-banking has enabled the international traders to get access to their banks accounts from wherever they are, despite the physical banks being in those regions. And we know the advantages of e-commerce, like easy transactions, and so on and so forth. We also looked at the development of export processing zones, the EPZs, that we said that the governments are establishing certain regions or are setting aside certain regions for the development of industries for the sake of producing commodities to be exported. We say that EPZs have created job opportunities, they have encouraged foreign investments, they have encouraged exports in the countries, and they've also stimulated industrialization in the country in many other sectors. And today I want us to look at the disadvantages of EPZs, which we also looked at, but we can just make summary that most of them employ foreigners in their management team, thereby denying the locals a chance to get employed. Again, they do not generate revenue to the government, especially during the tax-free holidays. Remember, we said that the EPZs enjoy certain incentives from the government, and some of these incentives include tax-free holidays. Therefore, during these tax-free holidays, the country does not get any revenue. Again, they are mainly concentrated in few towns, bringing about an imbalance in the regional development. We looked at the disadvantages of the localization of farms in Farm 3, and therefore EPZ will bring about the localization of farms. We also said that some of them encourage social evils, such as prostitution in areas where they are developed. The mushrooming of urban centers has always had its own share of challenges, and one of the challenges is the increase in social ills in the society, such as the prostitution. People will just be engaging in these activities without any consideration. And finally, the very last trend in international trade is the development of e-commerce, also known as the website trading. Now, when we talk of e-commerce, we simply refer to the electronic trade. Commerce simply refers to trade and aid to trade. Therefore, when we talk of e-commerce, we refer to traders carrying out their businesses electronically. You've heard of the Juma, you've heard of the OLX, you've heard of many others that conduct their businesses online. Now, what are some of the advantages of e-commerce? One is able to access the market worldwide as the countries are connected to the internet. You've heard of the Amazon. One is in US, and you can buy a product in Amazon and the product reaches you. You've heard of the Juma. You want a phone and you simply go to Juma, you order for a phone, you pay for that phone, you fill a form online and you get your product. There is no discrimination as both the small and large industries are able to transact through the internet. Nobody will know whether you are a small business or you are a large business. As long as you are operating your business electronically, there is no discrimination. Industries are equal. They all have a space within the internet to transact their businesses. Therefore, there is no discrimination. Another one is that it is fast to transact the business through internet as it saves on traveling time and therefore suitable for urgent transactions. Very, very fast, very, very suitable and efficient. It is also cheap, especially on the cost of sending, receiving, and storing information. Remember, no much paperwork. All the information is electronically sent. It is also easy for firms to share valuable information about production. Now, learners, that brings us to the end of the topic international trade. And I just want to make a brief summary on what we have learned from our very first lesson to this very last lesson. There are terms that could have been confusing, like the BOT, the TOT, the BOP accounts, and the rest. And therefore, I want to take this short time to summarize with you what we have learned. International trade refers to trade involving two or more countries. Please, you need to remember that. Now, terms of trade refers to the rate at which a country's exports exchange against imports. Balance of trade refers to the difference between the value of visible exports and the value of visible imports in a given period of time, usually 1 year. Those are common terms, the terms of trade, the balance of trade. We also have the balance of payments, which is the difference between exports and imports involving physical goods and services, both the visible and the invisible products. Now, we have what is known as the balance of trade, which refers to the difference between the value of visible exports and the value of visible imports. You need to understand clearly the difference between balance of trade and balance of payments. Balance of trade only deals with the visible commodities, the physical goods and services. The balance of payments refer to the difference between exports and imports, both the visible and invisible, not impossible, but invisible. Then we also have the balance of payments accounts, which include the BOP on current account, the BOP on capital account, and then the official settlement account. Those are some of the things you need to understand, and ways unfavorable balance of payments is equilibrium, the ways of correcting the unfavorable BOP, like decreasing volume of imports, increasing volume of exports, encouraging foreign investment in the country, devaluation of the currency, and restricting outflow of capital. Dear learners, there's some topical quiz here which I want you to look at your own time, having gone through the topic. Define the following terms as used in international trade. We have multilateral trade, terms of trade, balance of trade, balance of payments, and balance of payments accounts. Outline any 5 disadvantages of international trade. Explain any 5 causes of differences in terms of trade in different countries. Kenya is a member of EAC. Explain 5 problems the member countries are likely to encounter that may hinder them from achieving their objectives. Measures that a country experiencing a balance of payment deficit may take to correct this situation. Give the meaning of the following terms of sale: landed, franco, loco, and ono. Explain 5 functions of IMF. Explain any 5 causes of balance of payments disequilibrium. Explain 5 disadvantages of the establishment of export processing zones to a country. And finally, highlight 5 advantages of trade restrictions. Dear learners, thank you for your time. I only pray and wish that you go through this lesson and understand it better. God bless you. Bye-bye.